Hi everybody. Hey, it is November and we are working with the Simon Says Stamp card kit today for November. And I thought I would do some embossing folder tricks and talk about using that really big sentiment, which can sometimes be really hard. So first off, I took some white card and I embossed a bunch of background panels. It's a busy embossing folder, so it's going to have to be a background on one of your cards, or primarily, be a large element that you're going to put something else on top of that's really going to pop off. And I've got some examples of that. And then I matched up the colors to the paper. So we have Simon Says Stamp green apple, orange peel, and Audrey blue. And then we are going to struggle with that big sentiment. I really didn't want to do just the same old with it and put some watercolor down or do an emboss resist, which is always a nice way to use something really big. But I wanted to use that Delicata copper ink and also combine it with the embossing folder. So just to show you an example, I did put the Delicata ink on a piece of vellum. I thought that originally I would run that over one of the pieces of pattern paper. And it is really pretty, but you really can't put anything too busy behind it because the script is very delicate. And this is a one version of it stamped in the MISTI about 4 times, and this one has that wow copper glitter, had that wow copper glitter over it. But you can see that it's not really dark enough, so I needed something to do, so I decided to create the ombre effect of by using the ink and then layering some of the Delicata copper up the middle to darken it in the center and give it that little metallic glow as well. And that worked beautifully. And so I did 2 layers of orange peel and of the jelly bean to do this. And then I kind of just waved my hand over it. This is sped up, but it is real time. I didn't have to wait very long. And then I put that Delicata ink up the center of the sentiment and just spread it out. And it's like, okay, that's good for one layer. And then I did another layer. And obviously, you guys know what the MISTI does. It perfectly positions your paper and the stamp so you can do repetitive stamping and layered stamping without having to worry about registration with the thingamajig. So here's an example of that. I did use another background stamp, and here I made some metallic paper and used the embossing folder to frame that large sentiment that was on just a nice piece of white cardstock. So I took antique linen distress ink and some copper perfect pearls and just rub that in. I don't know if you guys have ever done this, but it's actually one of my favorite techniques. I learned it from Jennifer McGuire, and it's wonderful with embossing folders. She has a video on her channel all about that. You can go check it out. And you literally create this piece of paper and you put it into the embossing folder, and this is the result. And it is gorgeous, and it creates a perfect background. You can see with this card, I actually put ink on the embossing folder on the green and the orange ones. And I literally rubbed the ink pad over the white, some of the white cardstock, and then embossed onto the paper. And then I cut some flags and banners out of the pattern paper, and if you notice there was a flag that was made out of vellum. And I originally thought that this was going to be a really great background, a beautiful green embossed background, which it could be. So I'm going to share this technique with you because it worked really well. So I literally embossed just a piece of heavyweight vellum, and I took the jelly bean ink pad and ran it over the ink pad very casually, nothing fancy, don't worry, it looks really messy. And then I took a clarity stencil brush, but you could also certainly use just a rag, and because the ink is going to stay wet, so you can see that it's wet on the vellum. And then it dried, and you can cut it and use it as a beautiful background. And then in this example, I am just using a mini ink blending tool and showing how you can literally just rub ink into those embossed cover sheets. And I did that with the Jelly Bean and with the Audrey Blue as well. I think I'm going to show you here in a minute. And so I felt like I didn't use these on the cards. I put them away for later because they felt very springy to me, and I was in the mode of fall with the sentiment being that it's that you're grateful. And so, but I did want to show this because I think that they're great for backgrounds, or even to put a textured strip. They're really pretty, and this embossing folder is neat because it has both raised and lowered areas on both sides. So it almost doesn't even matter what side of the paper you choose to work with once you've embossed it. You can see it's different, and it can suit your design depending on what side you turn up and what side it faces down. So those are really nice. Just another example of a little technique that you might use. These are my two favorite cards. I really love using that big sentiment, and I love the metallic embossed background and making the small little elements from the same metallic paper. There are 3 more cards above on my channel for fall cards and some holiday cards from last year's kit that have some nice techniques, and that is coming up. Please visit me and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.